90% of a major blockbuster film will be generated by artificial intelligence.
Someone else asked it, write the screenplay and describe the characters for the next $900 million Hollywood blockbuster. It's like, bang, plot, characterizations. Then someone else took the descriptions of the actors and said, generate photorealistic computer images for each actor. And all the AI systems can do that. So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen next. This is going to happen this year. So get ready. Okay, so now we have an AI model that can extract a model of the world from the entire corpus of language. All right, and it's smarter than you, and it's going to be a hell of a lot smarter than you in 2 years. So you can get ready for that too.
So have you tried arguing with it? Okay, argue with it, really. Set up arguments, and it will argue back, okay? Stu, it's brilliant. It's not always right, but it's brilliant. It's like playing chess with a chess master, okay? And it's in its infancy. How are you going to be able to keep up? This is the argument that we made 10 years ago when we first heard about Elon Musk and his brain interface, and he's saying it must happen or people become monkeys. It's the planet of the apes, okay? We are dumbed down and dumbed down and dumbed down so far. The only way you'll be able to understand conversations, understand them, is if you have a link to ChatGPT here. You have access to all of the information because it'll happen that fast. How long does it take to write that monologue that you put the parameters in? Seconds? Seconds!
Cheating has never been this easy. They can plagiarize content without the fear of being caught. Schools and colleges in France, the US, and in India are already banning the use of this software. But it's not just education that's being disrupted. It's the same story across sectors. The legal fraternity, for one, is worried. Businesses are worried. What if ChatGPT offers law services? What if it takes away a job? ChatGPT took an MBA exam at the Wharton School of Business. You know the grade it got? A B. That's better than what many humans can score. Then we come to law. Professors at the Minnesota University Law School gave ChatGPT 4 separate tests. It scored an average grade of C. Not bad for a bot. And it's still being developed. It's still learning. What we see right now is not even the final product. It's got people worried, like software engineers and those in the IT sector. ChatGPT is learning how to code. And that can have far-reaching consequences for a lot of people. OpenAI, the makers of the software, have been on a hiring spree. They're building a data bank for this bot to learn coding. The whole endeavor might fail, but if it succeeds, it will change our world.
Hello, Adam. This is your central monitor. Sorry to bother you on your walk, but I need to let you know that your vital signs are outside normal parameters. You are showing signs of ST elevation, tachycardia, and high blood pressure. I suggest you slow your walk until I can do a full analysis of your cardiac health. I will be sending your vital signs to your doctor in just a moment. Please stay on the line.
There are significant societal disruptions throughout history, and particularly in communication. The invention of writing really allowed for the creation of what we now think of as organized society in terms of the empires of the past, because then you could actually govern at a distance. You could communicate at a distance. The printing press, the telephone, telegraph, broadcast media, all of that stuff was extremely important, and each one in its own way created a revolution in society. I think we are in the midst of or on the verge of one, beginning with the communications that we're experiencing in the internet, and now with the ability for machines to become smart and learn, that we're on the cusp of another amazing transformation. This is a perfect futures topic because nobody knows what's going to happen.
ChatGPT, I think, has illustrated to people just how advanced AI has become. Because the AI has been advanced for a while, it just didn't have a user interface that was accessible to most people. So what really ChatGPT has done is just put a really accessible user interface on AI technology that has been present for a few years. And there are much more advanced versions of that are coming out. So I think we need to really be, I think we need to regulate AI safety, right, frankly. Because if you think of any technology which is potentially a risk to people, like if it's aircraft or cars or medicine, we have regulatory bodies that oversee the public safety of cars and planes and medicine. And I think we should have a similar sort of regulatory oversight for artificial intelligence, because it is, I think, actually a bigger risk to society than cars or planes or medicine.
Geopolitics is not the only subject you can discuss with this program. You can talk about matters of the heart, a rocky breakup, or a crush. If you have existential questions, shoot them. It will respond. The whole thing's a bit creepy, though. We shared our worries. We asked it if it plans to take over the human race. Listen to what it said. As an AI language model, I do not have the ability or intention to take over the human race or any other group of people. My purpose is to assist users in generating text by providing relevant and accurate information based on the prompts given to me. But this came with a caveat, and I'm quoting again, the future of AI will depend on the choices and actions of those who develop and use it. It is important for individuals and institutions to work together to ensure that AI is used for the betterment of society. Like any technology, AI can be misused or have unintended consequences if not used responsibly.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Elon Musk, one of the things he's working on, he thinks that the world will be controlled by whoever produces the most functional AI system the fastest, because there'll be a first mover advantage. And one of the things Musk has been working on for a long time are distributed AI systems, so that you'll have your own artificial intelligence to protect you against, well, let's say against Google's artificial intelligence, for starters. Yeah, or the CCP's artificial intelligence, because you can bet your hat they're working on that about as fast as they possibly can.
I don't think anybody is worried enough. I think the hazard of what we're facing is almost beyond what we can imagine. And that is, I'm saying that even though I know what you have to focus on if you want to comfort yourself that this isn't so terrible. You can focus on the fact that this model has no capacity to be conscious, right? It's simulating meaning without knowing what it's saying. But I don't know how long that lasts. I do know that this is a pretty good spot check of where we are in the trajectory that results in general artificial intelligence. And I don't think we are remotely ready for what's coming. And I will point to the most obvious of these problems is already critical, and you're hinting at it in what you're reading here. But the fact that it is going to become extremely difficult to assess actual competence should alarm us at the highest level, right? To have the possibility, you could have a conference of people all consulting whatever descendant of ChatGPT happens to be available at the time, and talking to each other as if they know what they're talking about. We've already got a problem with our experts who don't mostly seem to know what they're talking about. This is going to be, 100 times as bad in a world where they can be consulting something that sounds very knowledgeable and may in fact be completely on the wrong track.
Google really controls what you see, because you never look past the first page on the search. And when Google's motto was, what was it? Don't be evil. Yeah, don't be evil, which they scrapped, in case you haven't noticed. We don't know how they rank order their searches. And so what that means is you don't know what filtering mechanisms determine what hits your field of vision first. And you could easily say the person who controls the information filtering mechanism has a hammer lock on your capacity for attention. And there isn't much difference between that and your consciousness itself.
Somebody had asked recently, how do you know what news is true and what's not? How do you know where to go for reliable information? And I know that the Bible is a reliable source of information, so we need to be grounded in the Word. We need to know our Bible. We need to be in it every day. And everything that we see, everything we hear, we need to filter through that biblical understanding. And if it contradicts the Bible, we need to throw it out and ignore it. And so that's how we're going to be able to make it through these times. But anyone that isn't grounded in the Word of God is going to be deceived.
We have just watched the entire expert class fail a real-world test. Right? We watched all the universities, every science department. They have all just failed a major test. So, and you know, if you were inside that system and you kept your wits about you, you knew that there was a problem with competence. You knew that a lot of that was fakery and nonsense, right? It sounds, it looks like science, but it doesn't function like science. If you actually understand the magic that makes science work, you knew it wasn't taking place in these departments, that it wasn't taking place in the major journals. And so, on the one hand, it is possible that something like ChatGPT helps us discover the level of incompetence that is putting us in jeopardy, which would be great. But my concern is that it actually arms the next wave of incompetence so that it sounds competent. And so it's harder to detect. We're going to be in a world of confusion once you plug this thing into our mechanisms for sense making.
I think in this case, like technology, for instance, technology is neutral. It's neither good nor bad, but mankind is fallen and sinful. And so when mankind takes that technology, we see them often use it for terrible things. Artificial intelligence can work to create better versions of itself down the road, but it's going to carry man's sinfulness through it.
First of all, we don't need ChatGPT to take us to the worst case scenario. We are already using our capacity to understand the world we live in, to manage the tools that we are creating, to live in harmony with each other. We are losing those things in the present prior to ChatGPT. All of those problems get worse. This is like an accelerant, right? This is like you had a house fire and then you just threw gasoline on it, right? Now we have a raging house fire. So I don't know that this is or isn't the thing, but I do know it's not going to help. At this moment, we can't deal with this. And this is not the last time that's going to happen, by the way, right? We had a world, we had an internet, and then we dumped smartphones into it, and it was like an accelerant. It took the derangement that was arising out of natural algorithmic processes within the internet, and they got vastly worse when people were constantly confronted with their phone and the ability to interact in this way all the time.
However, I think we all realize that 7 years ago, or whatever it was, I guess it was a little bit longer than that, 14 years ago now, was the introduction of the iPhone. And the difference in our daily life and how we spend our time from then to now is completely different. How we do everything. Banking, everything. Banking, food, deliveries, movies, transportation, all of it. Commerce. Yes, all of it has changed because of the iPhone. That was 14 years ago. You now would have a great number of people in America saying, I would give up my arm before I would give up my phone. We already know about all the label of misinformation that's out there. And so we hear talk now
coming from certain people in the media, even politicians saying, hey, the Bible is misinformation. It needs to be labeled as such. So we're hearing it. So this is out there.